men are talking about what men need, but a lot of this frustration comes from one source. And it's the conversation we need to have with another person at this table, which is women. Because the reality is, until women are like, men deserve their rights, men deserve to be respected, men deserve to be honored, and men deserve to be fathers in their children's life. Until women, as a collective, make that rallying cry, I think we might be talking in circles a little bit.
You have a broken heart, broken head, social emotional challenges.
Broken heart,
you don't see none of that until you're laid on your back.
In a panic attack.
Hyperventilating, and your loved ones are standing over you saying, yo, what's going on with daddy? I know him to be strong. I know him to be healthy. I know him to be able to do 50 push-ups on the rip. Why is that? Like, these are the things that we need to really, really, really take a stab at. This mental health space, this self-help space.
Hey, what's up, man? It's your boy, Coach Crump.
And Chizzy in the building.
Boy Man King Podcast, the journey continues.
Yes, sir.
Listen, we were just having a great conversation, and I want to stay there.
Yes.
We're going to talk about some other stuff, man.
Yeah.
A man's rights, what are they? Do they even exist? Chizzy, I don't know.
Bruh.
So I want Chizzy to go, because you was going, right? I'm going to go back and give you another alley-oop.
Right.
This is not my space.
Yeah.
It's not my space. I heard your passion. I feel your passion. But a friend of mine, is going to check my mate, has a 2-year-old daughter. I was able to get the court to legally let the baby mama FaceTime him, but he hasn't seen his daughter in a year. February next month will be a year because of legal battles, because he wasn't married. So in the state of Georgia, he didn't have legal rights, like as a father, in the sense that it had to be mandatory.
Right.
Even though he's the better positioned parent, financially, socially, whatever, but moms have all the rights. And so hence you went off.
So let me just put a disclaimer out there. This is in no way relationship advice, legal advice, nor do we speak anti-community or politics as it relates to the state of Georgia. This is my perspective and my view as it relates to this particular topic. Having said that, that's foolishness. I believe that, like, how do you put a dollar amount to what a young lady, wife, ex-wife, girlfriend, baby mama, whatever, how do you put a dollar amount to child support? More importantly, how does a court determine that a father legally, illegally can't see his child and the mama has more rights than a man? This blows my mind, right? There are conversations I've had with other individual men who feel like they're paying money to their child and they still can't see their children.
And we just saw the whole Eddie Curry situation where he gave $1.5 million, but he gave it directly to her, didn't go through the government. So that was said, well, she said, no, that was just a gift. That wasn't child support. So even though he paid that for over a decade, that was a gift. So legally, they made him pay another $1.5 million to her.
I think at the core,
through the government.
At the core of all of this, it's designed to dismantle the family structure and to, I'm gonna use this term, castrate men and give them and create an environment where they don't have the ability to parent, to effectively address the issues related to their children.
Now, this is interesting because this is going somewhere that I didn't anticipate. Right. And the only analogy I can think of is like when we was in the pandemic and the whole Black Lives Matter. And I remember going doing a march with my kids just to give them an experience of what it's like to advocate for those who are disenfranchised, marginalized, polarized by society on whatever level. And you're doing this stuff and you realize there's another killing, there's another killing, there's another killing. You realize the only way this stops is not by more marches. No. It's not by more signs. It's not by more hashtags. The oppressor has to go deal with the people who are oppressing the people to get the people to stop oppressing the people.
Right.
But the people who are being oppressed, they can scream, shout loud, put up signs, put up hashtags, but the oppression is still going to exist if the oppressors don't feel like they ain't doing nothing wrong. Getting to this matter, it's great that men are talking about what men need, but a lot of this frustration comes from one source.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the conversation we need to have with another person at this table, which is women.
Yes.
Because the reality is, until women are like, men deserve their rights, men deserve to be respected, men deserve to be honored, and men deserve to be fathers in their children's life. Until women, as a collective,
Right.
make that rallying cry, I think we might be talking in circles a little bit.
It's a multi-layered conversation / issue because yes, we do need to have a greater conversation with our women and the women, whether they perpetuate the challenges that men face or whether or not they support it. I think it also comes down to policy and it also comes down to political action and also collective responsibility. Men especially need to be collectively responsible.
That part. Let's go there. Let's be responsible.
Because we make no mistake about it. There are some men out there who do support and do cultivate this space that allow these women that make these women make certain decisions.
I was in a conversation on a call where a brother was testifying that he was in a group with men talking, and he was like, they were married. A couple guys wasn't married, and he was like, oh, talking about cheating on his wife with another married woman because married ones are the best ones. And it's like, for the first time, he was in his late 40s.
Yeah.
He called them out. Right? But it's not until we unify as men and respect what men need to be for women, for children, for our homes, for our communities, and we hold each other accountable and responsible for that, that the woman counterpart will have more respect for that unified. But it's hard for her who's been traumatized, abused, neglected, violently treated. Like it's like I don't trust none of y'all. Right. You know what I mean? That 1 or 2 experience I had with these two fools, I don't trust none of y'all. So rightfully so. So who's gonna have the healing and forgiveness and courage? I think it starts with us.
It does. I think it starts with us. But again, it's so multi-layered because we can function in our space and hold our brothers accountable, and hopefully that splinters over to the greater community and the wider community. But that still doesn't stop lawmakers from saying that in the state of Georgia, technically, if you're not married, you don't have rights to your child. Like that's a policy issue. That is a practice, and that's also something that we need to also be advocates against because what it says is that I'm only as good as the dollars that I'm able to provide for my children. And we all know, I'm of the belief that you shouldn't be sending guys to jail for not paying child support.
And that's how it is in Bermuda.
That's how it is back home.
Yeah.
How is he supposed to pay for that child if he's in jail? You should be mandating that he spends time with the child, that they go through relationship counseling, parenting, all of those other resources should be made available to these men. And once they go through a process, now you're saying, all right, there are other men who could benefit from a similar process. So we have to take steps to ensure that we're not just having conversations for the sake of having conversations, which is good because it allows for healing. But we also have to put policies and practices in place that allow for this system of oppression, a system of marginalizing men in their role as parents to be addressed.
So I'm gonna make a pivot. We as men, you as a man, Chizzy, yourself, you made a step in 2022. What steps are you taking in 23 on the back of your personal growth, your personal development, your strides? Like you made a big jump by taking accountability in 21. You walked into your fullness in 22. But 23, we're here now. What steps are you making?
As we know, the journey continues.
Yeah.
So life is about a journey. You just don't arrive. It's a continuous assessment of needs, assessment of what I need spiritually, emotionally, financially. For me, I'm taking the necessary steps. For me to go back, I'm going back to school in 2023 to educate myself. Education is important. We say this all day and twice on Sunday. But for me, I want to enhance my skill sets to further enhance what we do here at Boy Man King. So for me, I'm going back to do my master's to get educated, so I now can be a resource, an additional resource to the people that I need. I mean, coupled with Boy Man King, coupled with staying connected with my community, I want to, the prayer line has done wonders, not just for me, but for other brothers as well. You know what I mean? It's an ongoing stuff, being held accountable. I thank you for that. I thank other brothers on the line. Some of the guys in this room I have to thank for that.
Yeah.
But it's a continuous thing. So 2023, I'm excited about because I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Normally, I wouldn't be in front of a camera. I'll be behind the camera. Yeah. I'm trained in television broadcast. My degree was in that in school. So I'm used to being behind the camera doing production. This is the first time for me, stretching me, thanks to you, of course, for this podcast to allow me to have a voice to further develop my skill sets.
Yeah. I love it.
What about you, man? What's going on for you? I mean,
I want to, announce, when, I don't know when this episode will be released, but I'm going to do my own conference, King Conference, on my birthday weekend. I turned 40 years old. I got so much I want to share and give away.
Shout out to the 40 Club, man.
Yeah, hey, man.
Shout out to the 40 Club.
Listen, man, I'm feeling every aspect. I'm turning 40 too.
Welcome to my world, bro.
Yeah. I really want to walk into the fullness of what God has revealed to me.
Yeah.
I've been talking a lot to. I've been, still taking counseling. Still talking. I put my marriage. I got in a prayer closet Monday mornings for my marriage. Got on my knees. I just want to stay before the Lord every Monday, to make sure that I'm right here, right now.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So as I stay grateful, I want to really put the practices in place that allow me to be best utilized. I'm in a space in my time for the first time. I don't have no real need and desire. Yeah. God has blessed me tremendously. I actually have so much on my plate. I'm just not trying to drop nothing. I'm not trying to waste nothing. Like, that's the space I'm in. I'm trying to be more effective and efficient as a steward over what I have. And so the King Conference was just like an evolution of what I've already been building, what I've already been working on, because we got to come together, men and women. I always say men are the most important, but women are the most powerful.
For sure.
But we got to see eye to eye. We got to stop the competing. We got to stop the comparison, and we got to start collaborating. And for me, I want to really put my efforts and energy into the world, for that to be so. I was teaching my kids Martin Luther King holiday. I'm an Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the oldest and the coldest, right? And Martin Luther King is an Alpha as well.
Yeah.
And there's certain things about his stories that we know that's not really public. And I wanted to share with them quotes that is not popular quotes. And the particular ones, it was a series of quotes of just a true test of a man is not how he is in the comfort and convenience, but a true test of a man is in trials and tribulations. And just, you being silent is also saying that you agree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I'm learning that we may say some stuff that's controversial. We may say some stuff that you don't like. We may say some stuff that you disagree with. And I'm okay with that. Because I know my heart is to help the home. There's no home in the world. I want everybody to hear this statement. There's no home in the world that has a healthy and whole man in it. That home does not need government intervention whatsoever.
No.
If there's a healthy and whole man in that home, that home is good. I don't care what women and children are in there. If that man is healthy, whole, respected, and honored, the entire house is okay. I don't care what country you go. It could be a man with one wife. It could be a man with 10 wives. I don't care with 2 jobs, 1 job, no job. I don't care. If a man is healthy and whole, respected and honored in a home, that home does not need government assistance. It's when that's not the case. All these additional services, all these additional programs, all these different auxiliary things got to kick in
Yeah. To
because
augment.
that is not in place. So at the end of the day, all of this work, where is this going? All of this effort, why are we doing this? All of this energy is to put healthy men in healthy homes so that that entire home can be taken care of.
Man, shout out to Boy Man King. Shout out to all the men who are taking a stance and being vocal, not just about the things that they do well, but the things that they fall short on. Because I think that's a harder
Mm-hmm.
conversation to have.
Mm-hmm.
We talk often offline about the vulnerability, being vulnerable, being emotion, and the world will have you believe that a man that's emotional isn't really a man.
Mm-hmm.
And we're teaching our sons.
Yeah.
We're teaching our sons to be bravado. We're teaching our sons to be aggressive and to womanize. That's the true measure of man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to shift that tide. We want to shift that tide. Part of, I think, what we're trying to do, what in our space, in other spaces, is going to really, really make the impact. I'm excited about 2023.
I
I'm
am too.
excited about 2023.
I feel like for the first time in my life has taken a full turn.
Yeah,
Like I may have a partial turn with like my career. I had a career move.
yeah.
I had a personal goal. I had a financial goal. I got an achievement. I got married. I had a child. But this is the first time in my entire life, or my whole life, has made a turn. My children, made a turn. My marriage, made a turn. My finances, my investments, my friendships. Everything is like moving in a very healthy, wealthy space. Um, and here's the thing: when you're not healthy and wealthy, I wanna bring this to a light as well. You're stressing, you don't even know it.
It's funny you say that, man. Jake and I were talking about. Shout out to Jake, man. Shout out to
Shout out to
Grunt
Jake.
Media.
Shout out to
Shout
brother.
out to PJ. Shout out to Noel. Shout out to Deani. Shout out to Nick.
Yeah, shout out to the whole
Shout out
team.
to the whole team, man. But yeah, we were talking about this offline, man. How anxiety, stress, some of these silent killers, some of these things that don't really show up. Like when you break your arm, you got a broken arm.
Mhm.
You can go to the doctor, you can go to emergency, and they'll provide resources for your broken arm. And you have either a broken heart, broken head, social emotional challenges.
Broken heart.
You don't
or
see
broken
none of
head.
that until you're laid on your back
In a panic attack.
in a panic attack, hyperventilating, and your loved
Can't
ones
talk.
are standing over you saying, "Yo, what's going on with Daddy? I know him to be strong. I know him to be healthy. I know him to be able to do 50 push-ups on the rip. Why is that?" Like this? These are the things that we need to really, really, really take a stab at. This mental health space, this self-help space. We need to really, really. So that's why I'm so excited about 2023, because I'm making it my personal journey to be able to provide a resource for men just to come into a space to find healing, to get resources, to deal with mental health, have those conversations, get that support that they need so that they can be there for their families, man. Going to the days where you got to be strong and you have to be everything to everyone. Hey, I need help. Help me. And that's the space, that's the platform that I personally am trying to create, because this mental health boy is a silent killer, not just for men, but for everybody. And we have to take it seriously because there's a plethora of resources available. If you break your arm, need cancer treatment, need everything under the sun. When it comes to your mental, and there are challenges with getting these supports, even from an insurance perspective. We talked about that offline. Like some people don't even qualify for certain services because their insurance don't cover it. Like this is utter foolishness.
Yeah, insurance is a scam almost, bro. I don't even want to talk about that. I had a couple of bad experiences, but I do want to share this. I am your traditional alpha patriarchal man. I'm a man's man. Kind of how you see me is kind of how it is.
Sure.
It's like that in my home. I am the leader of my home. I am the leader of my marriage. And I would have never thought. I would have never thought. I would have never in a million years, Jake, thought that I would have a panic attack.
Right. Right.
So here I am, ex-pro athlete, leader of this, leader of that. all the. I don't care how many words you put. And I'm laying in my bed, and I cannot talk because I'm overwhelmed at the emotions that I'm processing, the stress that I've been through. Um, Stuff that I never thought I experienced, stuff that I never thought I had to go through. And so my wife is coming over. She said, "What's wrong?" And I cannot talk. And she says, "I'm gonna call 911." I'm just shaking my head. I said, "Just let me get up." And I can't get up. So I can't talk. I can't get up. She is like, "I'm calling 911." 911 shows up right here at this house. Right here at this house. My wife was crafty enough to like let 911 into the door and keep my kids like in their rooms with their TVs up. And so she's like, what blew me away is she had to help me down the steps. And they sat me down. They snatched my shirt off, put all the chest, stomach, neck, back, head. It's like completely healthy.
Yeah.
Right?
And check that term. You're completely healthy, but you can breathe. You can get up.
But here,
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So a man said you had a panic attack, and they said over 60% of all the 911 calls is panic attacks.
So what does that tell you?
So my mind, man. So my when I sat back, I realized I go back to the quote that Dewan, shout out to Dewan Matugga, one of the great mindset coaches in the game. He says a quote that he tells his clients, "What is the truth you're pretending you don't know?" And I realized that I had to stop pretending that I didn't know certain things that I was going through, that I was dealing with. I had to stop lying to myself. And I had to make that call to that counselor. I had to sit on that couch. I had to tell her, I need help. And she gave me some tools. You know, she gave me some ways to see myself, gave me some ways to look at my situation. Right? That started the journey to where I am at now. And man, I'm forever grateful because somebody else can have a panic attack and the reaction could be different.
Very different.
Somebody else can have a panic attack. What about an angry attack? Right? What about a violent attack? You know what I mean? What about, like it's so many different ways that attack could have happened that you had a whole trauma experience and it goes left.
Trust me, I do.
So for me, I had the experience and it was like, bro, get the help you need, bro. And my wife was there to support that. And that humbled me. That kind of started the whole season of being grateful and being in the moment and right here, right now, and being on my knees in prayer. Like I was like, I was hitting my head, so I got over myself. And I'm sorry to keep going on.
No, it's necessary, bro.
But I was hitting my head up against the wall, and I called my marriage coach, and he said to me, "Did you bombard heaven for your marriage?" He said, "You prayed to heaven, but did you bombard heaven? Did you put heaven back on his back hand? Like, did you put heaven like knocked it off the feet? Like, did you bombard heaven for your marriage?" He said, "I want you to just bombard heaven." Bro, if nobody don't ever tell me that, I don't even consider it as an option. Again, that helped me have another breakthrough. Right? So I know what it's like to try with everything you know, to try with everything you got, to try with everything you understand and still hit a wall. And it makes you violent. It makes you angry. It makes you bitter. It makes you resentful. It makes you frustrated. It makes you depressed. Right? It makes you lonely. Makes you scared. So for me, having that experience and just getting through by the help of others, I'm very sensitive, empathetic, aware, understanding than I ever was before. And so when I say I really want to honor what I have on my plate in 23, it's because of those type of experiences that I've recently been through.
Man, counseling, since I joined the prayer line a year and a half ago, I go once a week,
You just had a session this week.
I had a session 2 days ago. I'm in the mall with my son. He's looking for clothes to wear for his birthday party. And I'm got a session. I sat in the mall for an hour on a little bench in a quiet space, and I have my session with I saw my son here, take my card, don't spend too much money. I'm talking to I'm in a counseling session right now. So no matter what I do, prayer line, counseling, gym. Those are my priorities. Right there. That's how I start my day. That's how I continue throughout my week. So I'm saying all to say that these things are vitally important. Counseling, all of these elements. So imagine the brothers who don't have any of that.
And not only don't have it, Chizzy, not even aware that they need it.
They need it.
That's the part.
So you walk around this planet angry,
resentful,
doing any and anything. No guidance, no resources.
Frustrated.
Bro, come on. 2023. We're gonna do better.
The Jumpman.
Yeah.
We're about to jump into a new you.
Yes, sir.
About to be a new year.
Yes, sir.
So about to get some new results.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So look.
It's exciting, dude.
Hey, if you guys want some game, man, follow, like, love, share, show some support. As it's all about getting these resources out to the men who need it. 100%. And also the women, right? Take care of yourself. And this is going to be your best year in 23. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, family? It's your boy, Coach Crump, the King Coach. Listen, I'm so excited to help celebrate my 40th birthday. I'm hosting my first ever King Conference, man. I'm super excited. It's gonna be right here in Atlanta, Georgia on March 25th, an all-day event. We got DeMont Pope, we got Jeremy Anderson, we got Shannon and Shirley Austin, we got my boy Dewan Matunga coming down from New York. Listen, this is an exciting event. I'm giving all the game of tips of what I've learned and the responsibilities I managed for over 20 years on being a husband, being a father, being a brother, being a mentor, being a leader as a man. To learn, to get the game, to get the sauce, to have workshop. This is for men, this is for women, adult only event. Seats are limited. Be there or be square, man. I see you at the King Conference. Let's go.